Right. Okay, you can extend. Well, good morning, everybody. We are going to do time value of money and the financial investment analysis of projects. We are going to do it today. I hope you all will have at least ordinary calculator with you, and there is no handout, so you have to follow this program, this session very carefully. There is no handout for this. Right. Asana, right. Okay. Right. Time value of money. This we know, this is 100 rupees note. This is always even today, this is 100 rupees. Last year, 100 rupees. Before that, also 100 rupees. Even the coming years also is going to be 100 rupees. We call it face value of the money. Face value of the money, 100 rupees. Right. So now we see. Now it is. Now we say 2019, 2020, 2019, 2020, in 2021. Face value of the money, what I have shown you is 100 rupees. So now with this 100 rupees, what we can purchase, what we would have purchased previous years, and what we can purchase now, what we can purchase in future. So purchase value of the money. In 2020, a pound of bread, if you are buying a pound of bread, it was around 2020, last year, it was around 65-70 rupees. So you would have purchased about 1.5 pounds of bread. Before that, in 2020, it was around 60 rupees. So you would have purchased about 1.75 pounds of bread. Now 2021, it has gone up. It is about 80 rupees. So you can buy about 1.25 pounds of bread. Maybe 2020, you may be able to buy only 1 pound of bread. Maybe in 2023, you may be buy about only 0.75 pounds of bread. It may be. So there may be, just for you to understand, I am telling this. So what has happened? The purchase value of the money is getting reduced over a period of time. While the face value of the money remained unchanged, in our example, it is 100 rupees. The purchase value of the money is getting diminished over a period of time. So we call this purchase value of the money is the real value of the money. What is this? real value of the money. So this is a common phenomena. Everywhere it is same. But the only thing in our country, it is somewhat more. So everywhere it is same. So we can say, while face value of the money remain unchanged, the purchase value or the real value of the money is getting changed, diminishing over a period of time. What you have the money today, say if you have 100 rupees today, that value of that money, real value of that money will get diminished in future. So this we call it as time value of money. There's a proverb, a bird in the hand is worthier than two in the bush. It is something similar. A bird in the hand is worthier than two in the bush. So the money what you have today is worthier than the same amount of money you may receive in future. The money what you have in your hand today is worthier than what you may get in future. The same amount you may get in future. So this is time value of money. So this is the example. This is the example. So when if there is a question like what do you mean by time value of money or explain time value of money, all these things should come. The money what you have today is worthier than the same amount of money you may receive in future, and the example, everything you must. I hope you understand this. So why it is important? Now, we invest money in projects. We project the future income and expenditure and everything, what we are getting, the net value, what we are getting. So when you are looking at it, it may be, you may see, yes, it is worthy. The project may be worthy to start. But when you do the real value of this calculation, it may be other way, it may be. So this is very important for the project analysis and the financial investment analysis. Right. Now, we go further. This is years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go on like this. Today you are investing 1 rupee. You are investing 1 rupee in a fixed deposit. Just as an example, 1 rupee in a fixed deposit. The money what you have today, we call it as present value of money. Present value of money. PV. The money what you have today, we call it as present value of money. The money what you may receive in future years, we call it future value. So the meaning of present value, the money, the value of money what you have today in your hand. The future value, what the value of the money, what you may get in future years, future value. Okay. So PV, you have 1 rupee today, PV is 1 rupee. You are investing in automatic renewal, fixed deposit, automatic renewal. At an interest rate of interest 12% per annum. 12% per annum. And 12% in percentage, it is 12. So if you say it in decimal, it is 0.12. For 1 rupee, the interest is 0.12 per year. So it is 0.12 in decimal. Right. So this is now in project evaluation techniques, you may use S0 as 1. S0 as 1. So the present value of money, what you have 1 rupee, you are investing in a fixed deposit with automatic renewal at an interest rate of 12%, that is 0.12. So after 1 year, at the end of 1 year, how much the value of the money? You will get 1 rupee plus the interest, that is 0.12. At the end of 1 year, the value of money will be 1 plus 0.12. Now, the automatic renewal. So this is going to be the capital for the following year. How much you will get? You will get the capital. Capital will be there 1 plus 0.12 plus interest from this capital. Plus interest from this capital. So that is 1 plus 0.12 into 0.12. This is the capital portion. This is the interest portion. So in the second year, the money will be 1 plus 0.12, that is a capital portion, plus interest from this capital. So since it is decimal, you will multiply. So 1 plus 0.12 into 0.12. Right. Now, if you put just 1 here, it won't make any change. If there is 1, it won't change. It is the same. If you put now in your 6th standard, maybe you would have studied in your mathematics. We call it algebra, mathematics, factorization. This is the common factor, 1 plus 0.12. If you take it out, 1 plus 0.12, if you take it out here, if you take it out, 1 will remain, then plus will remain, and then 0.12 will remain. So this is 1 plus 0.12 to the power 2. So now you have 1 rupee, you are investing in fixed deposit with automatic renewal. So in the first year, it will be 1 plus 0.12. And in the second year, it is 1 plus 0.12 to the power 2. This is the calculation. We see in the third year what it will be. I am raising this. In the third year, now automatic renewal, this is going to be the capital. 1 plus 0.12 to the power 2 is the capital, plus interest from this capital, that is 1 plus 0.12 to the power 2 into 0.12. This is the capital portion. This is the interest portion. If you put 1 again, it won't make no change. If you put 1, it won't make any change. So factorization, take out the common factor. 1 plus 0.12 to the power 2, you are taking out. So you are taking out this common factor, then into this 1 will come, remain, plus this will come. You are taking this out, 0.12. So this is equal to 1 plus 0.12 to the power 3. So in the fourth year, if you do the same way, 1 plus 0.12 to the power 4. In the nth year, if it is any number of years, then it will be 1 plus 0.12 to the power n. So these are future values. The 1 rupee is the present value, and then it is a future value at the end of 1 year. This is a future value at the end of 2nd year. This is the future value at the end of 3rd year. This is the future value at the end of 4th year. And this is the future value of nth year. So, future value, we can simply say, put a formula, future value of present 1 rupee is, future value of present 1 rupee is 1 plus 0.12 to the power n. So if instead of interest rate, if you use R, then F is equal to 1 into 1 plus R. This is in decimal. Mind you, this R should be in decimal to the power n. So future value of present 1 rupee. Future value of present 1 rupee is F is equal to 1 into 1 plus R to the power n. R is the interest rate in decimal and n is the number of years. If you use any number of money, maybe 1,000, 5,000, 1 lakh, 5 lakh, so we can say future value is equal to PV, present value, into 1 plus R to the power n. This is the formula to convert present value to the future value. This is the formula to convert present value to the future value. So we have derived it in a mathematical way. We have derived this formula. Fe, the future value, is equal to PV, the present value, into 1 plus R. R is the interest rate in decimal, and to the power n. This we call it as compounding. This we call it as compounding. Compounding is a technique. Compounding is a technique converting present value to the future value. Compounding is a technique converting present value to the future value. So if we ask what is compounding, you must tell the compounding is a technique converting present value of the money to the future value. And compounding formula, this is the compounding formula. Right. So I will erase. So we have derived this formula. Now we need this formula for our future further calculation. So now I hope you have understood this. Okay. Right. I am erasing this now. So a person is coming to you, to your bank. He says, I am having about 50,000 rupees now. So that is present value. PV is equal to 50,000 rupees. If I put on fixed deposit in your bank, after 5 years, how much I will get? How much I will get? So you may have your interest rate. For the fixed deposit, you may have various rates. Maybe, yes, for an example, maybe the rate may be low now, but for the example, I am taking 12%. So R is equal to 12% per annum. So in the decimal, it is 0.12. Period N, we want to put it for 5 years. So you may go to your system and calculate and tell, but if you now, since you know this one, you can use the ordinary calculator. Sometimes you can use your personal computer, or even with the ordinary calculator, you can calculate and say, easy. So our formula is equal to future value is equal to PV into 1 plus R to the power N. In this example, future PV is equal to 50,000 into 1 plus R is equal to 0.12 to the power N is equal to 5. So this again equal to 50,000 into 1.12. This is 1 plus 0.12, 1.12 into 5 times 1.12 into 1.12 into 1.12. 1, 2, 3, 4 into 1.12. So this is equal to, first we calculate this. Right. So in the calculator, ordinary calculator, now for an example, ordinary calculator, 2 into 5. Sorry. If you have an ordinary calculator, please try. 2 into 5. Equal sign, you will get 10. Again press equal sign. Right, once again. 2 into 5 plus equal sign 10. Correct. Again press equal sign. You are getting 20. What happened? The first entry multiplying the result. 10 you got the result. So what was the first input? 2. That is multiplying the 10 and 20. Again equal sign 40. Again this 2 multiplying the first entry 2 multiplying the result. That is 20 into 2. 40. Again equal sign 80. Again the first entry, first input 2 multiply. So this one you can use it. So now this 1.12 should multiply. So 1.12 into 1.12. So these two I have 1, 2 I have equal sign. Yes, I got the answer. Again equal sign 3rd. Again equal sign 4th. Again equal sign 5th. 1.76. So this is 50,000 into 1.76. 2. So now you have to multiply this one by 50,000. 1.762 into 50,000. 88,100 rupees. The answer. Future value of present 50,000 when you put it in an automatic renewal at a bank at the interest rate of 12%. At the end of 5th year, you will get 88,100. So if a customer comes and you, even with the ordinary calculator, you can calculate and get this answer. We call it compounding. We call it compounding. Okay, right. We try another example. We erase this. Another example. Please, you also do the calculation with me. $20,000. PV is 20,000. Now they are having putting in a automatic renewal. I mean fixed deposit with automatic renewal. So maybe 8% per annum. 8% per annum. So that is going to be 0.08 decimal. 0.08 decimal. Maybe 6 years. 0.08 decimal. That the interest rate. Right. Now this is our formula. Compounding formula. F is equal to PV 20,000. 10 into bracket 1 plus R 0.08 in decimal to the power 6 number of years equal 20,000 into 1.08 into 1.08 into 1.08 into 1.08 1, 2, 3, 4 into 1.08 into 1.08 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is equal to 20,000 into 1.08, 6 times 6. So now first input 1.08, second input into 1.08. So first two input. We put it. Equal sign. So two inputs. Now third input. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 1.586. 1.586. So 1.586 into 20,000, 31,720. The future value of present 20,000 rupees after 6 years at the interest rate of 8%, that is 0.08 decimal, 31,720. So we call it compound. And the interest rate, what we are using here, the interest rate, what we are using here, so this is compounding. The interest rate we are using here called as compounding rate. In compounding the interest rate, but we are using, we call it as compounding rate. So this is. And then, okay, now it is almost clear, I hope. I am raising this. Even using an ordinary calculator. You don't need to go to your system. You don't need to use your PC. Even with the ordinary calculator, you can calculate it. Now, the future value for the various present value we have calculated. So, if the future value for present 1 rupee, 1 plus R to the power n. The R, the interest rate or the compounding rate can vary. It can be 1% or 1.1% or 1.2% or 1.3% or 2%, 2.2%, 2.3% or 3% or 3.3%, 3.4%. It can go. So, for various interest rates, for the present 1 rupee, you will get various future value. I am repeating it. For the present value of present 1 rupee at various interest rates, 1% or 1.2, 1.3, 1.5 or 2%, 2.2, 2.4, 2.8, 2.9 or 3%, 3.6 or 3. Various interest rates. You get various future values. Similarly, for the years, for 1 year, or for 2 years, for 3 years, for 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, various future values. So the various interest rates or compounding rates and various periods, the future value also varies for 1 rupee present value. I am repeating it again. For present 1 rupee, for various interest rates, for various periods, the future value will vary. That future value is called as compounding factor. We call it as compounding factor. So what is compounding factor? If there is a question, then for present 1 rupee, present value of 1 rupee, for various interest rates or compounding rates, for various periods, the future value will vary. This future value is called as compounding factor. Compounding factor. And this compounding factor is given in compounding tables. When you study your mathematics, there are various log table, logarithm table, anti-log tables, anti-logarithm table, sine table, cosine table, tangent table, cotangent table. There were tables. When you do your maybe with your 8th standard or 9th standard, these tables, there are separate tables. Similarly, the compounding table also there. The compounding table also there. So when you do this compounding calculation, say you present 5,000 rupees, automatic renewal, what you will do? So you take the compounding table, the compounding factor, and then multiply. That is, now, this is present value 1 rupee, 1 plus R, 1 plus R. The present value of 1 rupee, the future value is 6. So, when you calculate, when you have this compounding factor, then you multiply the PV, present value, into compounding factor. So, this is the compounding factor. This is the compounding factor. So, you take the compounding factor for various compounding rate and for various period, find the compounding factor and multiply the PV, then you will get the FE. So we were doing like this earlier. You have a compounding tables. From the compounding table, that is compounding table is for 1 rupee, present value of 1 rupee at various compounding rates and various periods. So you calculate, you see, take the compounding factor for a particular compounding rate and for a particular year and multiply the present value by the compounding factor, you will get the future value. We were doing that earlier. But later we were using these calculators. Now you are using PCs, and even with the system you can calculate. So this is compounding table. So from the compounding table, you take compounding factor. So this is the compounding factor. So this is the, yes, 1 into 1 plus r to the power n. So this is the future value, that is the compounding factor. So this is a technique converting present value to the future value. This we are using in fixed deposit automatic renewal calculation with interest add-on to the capital automatic renewal calculation we are using. Right. Okay, I hope this will be clear to you. Now you know the meaning of compounding. It's a technique converting the present value to the future value. You know compounding rate, that is actually the interest rate. The interest rate used in the compounding. The interest rate used in compounding is the compounding rate. Then compounding factor. This is for the present 1 rupee. The future value for the present 1 rupee at various interest rates and at various periods. That is the compounding factor. So if there is a question, give the meaning or explain what is compounding, compounding rate and compounding factor. These are the answers you should know. Right. Now, various projects. So people are investing money and expecting the return from that investment. So projection, they make projections. They make income projection, expenditure projection. So how much is the net value? The projection. So the projectors zero, that is now. When we say projector 0 means now it is. Then year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, it goes on. So there may be investment. Then return. Then we go net cash flow. We call it net cash flow. So actually, in a simple way, I am putting it. In a detailed way, there will be income, cash inflow, cash outflow, then the net of that cash, net flow. This is cash flow for the investment analysis. We do it. Right. So investment, we are investing. And what is the future income from this investment? We project. We do projections. We do projects. Actually, one thing you must know, some people, when do this projection, they assume there will be price increase. So, sale price, they may increase by 5% or 10% over a period of time. They may increase the sale price over a period of time. yes, you can do it. But when you increase the sale price, at the same time, the expenditure side also, you have to increase the prices. Why? This increase of sale price is due to inflation and other economic and political factors, mainly inflation. So inflation not only affects the sale price, your expenses also will be get affected. So both sides, inflow side also you have to, if you are increasing the prices, inflow side and the outflow side also, similarly you have to apply the, yes, sale price increase, you have to apply the price increase. So instead of that one, when we do the prices at the constant price. We use the constant price. Whatever the price we assume now, a pound of flour is say about 50 rupees or 100 rupees. So next year also pound of flour, yes, say we apply. So we call it constant prices. Now, if you are doing a project now, so it is, we have to say rupees, either rupees 1,000 or rupees million or simple rupee, and we must say rupees. So our calculations are in rupees 2021 constant prices. Rupees 2021 constant prices. So we won't apply this 5% increase, 10% increase to some people to get a favorable answer, to make the project favorable. They say income side, sale price, yes, annually 5% increase or 10% increase, and they don't touch the expenditure side. If the sale price is increasing, then the expenditure side also, the prices should increase. Or some people do sale side, sale prices 10% increase and expenditure side 5% increase. These are all wrong. These are all wrong. People, they do to make the project, but they are preparing to give a greeny picture, to make it as viable, to show it as viable. So we do in a correct way. We must use the constant prices, whether it is rupees thousands or rupees million or simple rupee, whatever that all you have to mention, and constant prices we do. Right. So in the projects, we are projecting and see whether the investment is giving the return, whether the investment giving the return, a favorable return, whether this project is worthy when considering the time value of money, whether this project is worthy when considering the time value of money. Because time value of money, I have already told you, the money what we have today is worthier than the same amount of money we may receive in future years. So how to do? This is present value. These are future values. So how to say? What we have to do, whether this project is worthy, then we have to bring this value, future value, to the present value. Then bring this future value to the present value. Then bring this future value to the present value. Then bring this future value to the present value. And then take the net value. And then take the net value. Because all are now the same. All are now present values. This is present value. This one we have row to present value. This one we have row to present value. This also row to present value. This also row to present value. All are now. So these are present values. All are same plane. Present values. And we take the net of these present value. We call it as net present value. NPV. We call it as net present value. So for the project, we make the projections, the investment. So what is we are getting ultimate net cash flow? What is the net of income minus expenditure? We are getting. So then we call it net cash flow. Whether that is worthy for this present income, because these net cash flows are future values, in future values. At the end of first year, or at the end of second year, at the end of third year, or at the end of fourth year, these are future values. So these future values, you have to bring it to the present value, same level. Then you can add up and yes, you can add or subtract or whatever it is. We get the net present value. If the net present value is positive, then investment is more than, if net present value is positive. Anyway, I will explain that one later. I will explain positive, negative, I will explain that one later. But this is net present value, we call it. So in the project analysis, financial analysis, investment financial analysis, we must bring all these future values to the present value. How to do it? How to do it? This also another technique, converting the future values to the present value. Earlier we learned converting present value to the future value, that is compounding. Now we are going to learn converting future values into present values. That we call it discounting. Discounting. The compounding formula we have seen, F is equal to PV into 1 plus R to the power n. This is the compounding formula we have learned. So now in this formula, you make the present value as a capital. So make PV capital, PV is equal to, this will come FE divided by 1 plus R to the power n. Or PV is equal to FE into 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power n. This is the formula we have derived from this one compounding formula. We are getting the discounting formula. This we call it discounting formula. Discounting formula. And the interest rate here same. This is present value PV, FE is the future value, and then 1 divided by 1 to the power R is the interest rate in decimal, n is the number of years. R is the interest rate in decimal, n is the number of years. Discounting formula. So discounting is a technique, again, converting future values to the present values. We use it in project financial analysis. And R is the interest rate used in discounting, so it is discounting rate. Discounting rate. The interest rate used in discounting is called as discounting rate. And the N is the number of years. N is the number of years. So this is the discounting. Okay, I am raising this. Some past paper questions have been given to you all. First of all, we see, take the question number 3. Take the question number 3. A company wanted to invest rupees 60 million in plant and machinery required for its new industrial project. The company plans to borrow this money from its bank, and the prevailing lending interest rate is 18% per annum. The lifetime of the plant and machinery has been estimated as 12 years. However, company planned to sell it after 5 years operation for a value of 24 million. It is estimated that the project will bring a net cash flow of 15 million each year during the first 5 years of operation. Net cash flow of 15 million. That means income, cash income minus cash expenditure. Cash income minus cash expenditure. So that is a net cash flow. The company is getting, that is a net amount of cash the company is getting for its investment, net cash flow. So we must see, company is investing 60 million and it is getting the net cash flow, that is net cash, each year 15 million. Whether this is worthy, we must see whether this is worthy. During the first 5 years of operation, apply discounted cash flow and justify whether the proposed new investment is beneficial to the company. This is the third question. So discounting tables will not be provided. You may use ordinary numerical calculators for this purpose. So here also we can use the ordinary calculator. See how can we do it. So investment, now the investment. Right. This is, we call it cash flow for investment analysis. Cash flow for investment analysis. You have to put it here. So this cash flow and your normal cash flow in the financial statement, there are balance sheet, profit and loss, and cash flows. Yes, this is also same, but it is simplified for the purpose of investment analysis. This is simplified. So in the normal cash flow, the financial statement, you will take all the items, income items, sale values, and various other values, and the expenditures, raw material, power and fuel, other utilities, labor, and take the net cash flow there. take the net cash flow over a period of, that is in your normal financial statement cash flow. There are increases and decreases, all those things. But here we bring in a very short way. So you would have done all those cash flows there. From there, we are extracting. You would have done your financial cash flows. From there, we are extracting and prepare this cash flow. This is cash flow for investment analysis. Right. So investment, it is 60 million. 60 million. So this is investment. This is the cash outflow. Cash outflow. So this is, we put it in bracket, negative. Cash is going out. So the cash outflows are, we are taking as minus, that's negative because it is going out. Cash inflows are coming in, those are positive values. Cash outflows are negative values. 60. It is estimated that the project will bring a net cash flow of 15 million each year. So net cash flow from operation, net cash flow from operation, it comes from year 1, 15 million. 15 million. 15 million. 15 million. The first 5 years of operation. The first 5 years of operation. Right, 15 million. So this is positive value, cash inflow. For our investment analysis, this is cash inflow. So this is from the operation of the business, the industry or the project. They are anticipating a net cash flow of 15 million each year for plus 5 years. Because they are going to use the machinery only for 5 years and thereafter they are going to sell the machine. Lifetime of the plant and machinery has been estimated as 12 years. However, the company plans to sell it after 5 years of operation. So we call it residual value of the machinery. Residual value of the machinery. It is coming after the 5th year. They want to sell it for 24 million. 24 million. Now, some people, they used to consider this 24 million, the residual value, in the 5th year itself. Some people, yes, even the Colombo University, I have seen, even chartered accountants, and they are using it during the 5th year. But actually, the World Bank concept, it is after the 5th year, so they will consider in the 6th year. They will consider in, so I am also considering in the 6th year after saying the residual value. They are selling this machinery, plant and machinery after 5th year. After 5th year, that is after December 31st. So obviously in the next year, January, or maybe in the February, so we are taking. But by chance, if you put it in the 5th year or 6th year, I won't penalize. Anyway, but this is the way I am using this is World Bank method. Right. Now, so this is the investment. So this is the cash inflow for this investment. So if you total it up, 15 million, 15 million, 15 million, 15 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 75 million plus 24 million, 75, 95, 99 million. You are getting 99 million over a period of 5 years, over a period of 5 years. Investing only 60 million. So when you are investing 60 million, you are getting 99 million, so 39 million up. You may think, yes, it is a good project. It is worthy to invest. It is worthy to invest, you may think. But we see whether it is worthy or not. We are going to do it. Whether it is worthy or not, we are going to do it. Right. Once again, I must tell. So here, cash flow for investment analysis, you must write. And then, in what currency you are doing it? You are doing in normal SL Sri Lankan rupees, or rupees thousands, or rupees 100,000, or rupees million, you must say. Now, because then only they will understand whether it is in rupees or million or 100,000 or thousands. So you have to mention how they are. And then it is what prices, constant prices. This is a calculation. You must take the constant prices. And which year constant prices? 2021. If you are doing now, it is 2021 constant prices you must mention. So you are not assuming any increase in prices in this calculation. You are not assuming. It is the constant prices, 2021 constant prices. If you are doing next year, then you will say 2022 constant prices. If you would have done it in last year, you would have said 2020 constant prices. Constant prices. Right. Now, let us. So these are certain basic things. When you do the calculation for your exams, all these things should come. Cash flow for investment analysis should come. Then what currency should come? What prices should come? You must mention it is constant prices. Right. So now see the net cash flow. This is the net cash flow. So this is a simplified cash flow for investment analysis. So this one you are extracting from the other your financial cash flow, net cash flow. Right. So this is, you add up 60 minus, that is investment. So always in this one, the investment will come as the negative value, then 15 million, 15 million, 15 million, 15 million, 15 million, 24 million. So what we had to do, as I told you now, we must bring the future values into the present values. We must bring all these future values to the present value and see present value and see whether it is worthy. Okay, so to see what we have to do, we have to discount it. We have to. So discounting is a technique I have told you, bringing future values to the present value. So you have to discount it. Now, another word I want to use it. Compounding factor I told you. That is for present, the future value for present 1 rupee. For that is compounding factor for future 1 rupee. What is for future 1 rupee at various interest rate and various period? What is the present value? Sorry, compounding factor is other way. For various present value at various interest rate and for 1 rupee present value, for 1 rupee present value at various interest rate and various period, what is the future value? So that is the compounding factor. Now discounting factor, it is other way for various future values for various future values at various interest rates, sorry, for 1 rupee future value, for 1 rupee future value at various interest rate, at various period, what is the present value? What is the present value? That is the discounting factor. So now, from here, we develop the discounting formula. PV is equal to FE divided by 1 plus R to the power n. So this is the R to the power n. This is the discounting formula. We can write now for if it is 1 rupee, future value 1 rupee, PV is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power n. So this is the discounting factor. That is for 1 rupee for 1 rupee future value. So if you calculate this one, the discounting factor, if you calculate, then PV is equal to FV into 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power n. So this is the discounting factor. If you calculate the discounting factor, then multiply the future value, that will give you the present value. So once again, I repeat, this is the compounding formula. From there, we are deriving the discounting formula, where PV is equal to, we are converting future value to the present value. PV is equal to FE divided by 1 plus R to the power n. So we can then, if FE is 1, that is FE is 1, future value is 1 rupee, then it will be PV is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power n. That is discounting factor. That is discounting factor. So to convert various future values to the present value, what you have to do, you must multiply those future values by the discounting factor. So you calculate the discounting factor. First you calculate the discounting factor and then multiply the future values by the discounting factor. Right. First you calculate the discounting factor and then multiply the future values. Yeah, you are converting that future value to the present value. So I hope you all understood that. So now we have to calculate what is the discounting factor. We have to calculate what is the discounting factor. So now discounting factor at that percentage. What is the percentage? We must say. So they want to borrow this money at 18%. 18%. So at 18%, discount it at the using the discounting rate or the interest rate 18%. Discounting factor at 18% PA. So discounting factor. So now this is the discounting factor. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power n, that is 0. Here 0. Next one, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 1. To the power 1. Discounting factor. We are calculating the discounting factor. Then third, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 2. Then 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 3. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 4. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 5. Then yes. Raise the hand. Yes. Anyway. Okay, I'll come. Yeah. Right. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here 6. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 6. This is the discounting factor at 18% per annum for various period. For various period. So this discounting factor also, I told you, there are discounting tables like compounding table. There are discounting table. From the discounting table, you can find out for what interest rate, for what period, you can find out. But here we are using ordinary calculator. Right. So then, here 0 means, so this is 1. So 1 divided by 1, again this is 1. Discounting factor always for the year 0 is 1 because now we are investing the money. This money, if we are investing 10,000 rupees, it is 10,000 rupees. The present value is 10,000 rupees. So this is 1. Then here 1 divided by, again the calculator, simple calculator, 1 divided by 1.18. 1 divided by 1.18 equal sign 0.847, not 0.847. Then for the second year, equal sign, again dividing, equal sign 0.718, not 0.718. Third year, again divide, equal sign 0.608, not 0.608. Fourth year, again divide, equal sign 0.1515, not 0.515. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. Oh, 1 is more, no? So year 0, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth year. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 6. Right. 515. So again divide, equal sign 0.437, 0.437. Again dividing, equal sign, not 0.37, not 0.370. So this is the discounting factor by using the ordinary calculator. Otherwise, you have to go to the discounting table. So discounting factor, I have explained you. You have to go to the discounting table. For particular interest rate, here it is 18%. For particular years, you can find out the discounting factor and put it. So instead of that one, using the calculator, once again, here 1 divided by 1.18. 1.18. 1 divided by 1.18. So here, discounting factor, using that formula, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.19 to the power 0, then 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 1, it goes on like that. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 2, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 3, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.18 to the power 4, then 5, 6, goes on. Yeah, discounting factor using this one. So first one is year 1. So it is same. Discounting factor is 1. And then year 1 divided by 1.18. 1 plus 0.18 is 1.18 equal sign 847.847. Again divided by 1 plus 0.18, that is 1.18. Again divided. So you press equal sign 0.718. So again equal sign for another division 0.608. Again equal sign 0.515. Again equal sign 0.437. Again equal sign dividing again. So 0.37. No. This is the discounting factor. This is the discounting factor. So now what we have to do? Multiply those future values by the discounting factor to bring it to the present value. Multiply these relevant future values by the relevant discounting factor to bring this value to the present value. So now the next step is present value PV of the cash flow at the discounting rate 18% PA. Present value of the cash flow. Present value of the cash flow at the discounting rate of 18% PA. So here 1, so this is 60 negative outflow. Now 15 into 15 is the future value into 0.847, that is 12.705. This is the present value. Multiply the future value by the relevant discount factor. You are getting the present value. Again, multiply 15 by 0.718. 10.77. Again, multiply 15 by 11 discount factor 0.608. $9.12. Again, multiply 15 by the 11 discount factor 0.515, 7.725. Again, 15, that is 15 million, multiplied by 11 discount factor 6.555. Again, 24 million, the future value, multiplied by the 11 discount factor 0.378.88. So this is the present value of the cash flow at discounting rate of 18%. So now the present value, we have converted to the present value at the discounting rate of 18%. So this is negative outflow. These are the inflows. Let me see. This is equal to 60 in 12.705 plus 10.77 plus 9.12 plus 7.725 plus 6.555 plus 8.8888 plus 55 point, this is plus 55.755. 55.755. What is the answer? That is minus 60, right? Minus 4.245. Minus 4.245. Negative value. We call it, now what we have done, these are the present values. We have converted everything to the present values. This is the present value. Yes. All these is a present value by multiplying the cash flow, net cash flow by the relevant discounting factor. Multiplying, we have converted those future values to the present value. Now there is positive value, that is inflows values, present inflows values, and there is a negative value, present outflow value. Now we get a net flow. Net flow. So what is net? Net of present value. We call it NPV. Net present value of cash flow at 18% discount rate. So the NPV, we call it NPV, net present value. We convert all those future values to the net values, net present value, present values, and from there is a positive values, those are inflows, there is a negative values, that is outflow. So when you add both, we get the net value, net present value, net of present values, net of present value, NPV. Here it comes negative. What does it mean? Outflow is more than the inflow. This is the outflow, the 60 million. The present values of all the inflows totally 55.755. So the outflow is more at present value. This is minus 4.245. So what do you think about this investment? Outflow is more than the inflow. The inflows at present value not covering the outflows. So what is it? It is worthy there? No, it is not worthy. This investment is not worthy. Why? The NPV is negative. Why the NPV is negative? The net, present values of the inflows are less than the present value of the outflow. So otherwise, outflow, the present value of the outflow is more than the present value of the inflows. So because of that one, this investment is not worthy. This investment is not worthy. So if, but when we are looking at it, yes, when we total it up and we see this is a rate of 75 plus 24 million, 99 million. Oh, future values are 99 million. We are investing only 60 million. This project is worthy, we may think, but when you discount it only, you really know what is this investment is not worthy. Because the NPV, net present value of the cash flow, is negative. How the net present value is negative? Because when you convert everything to present value, the income flow at present value not covering the outflow, not covering the investment. So this investment is not worthy. If you want to make it as worthy, what you have to do? The borrowing interest rate should be reduced from 18%. The borrowing interest rate should be reduced from 18%. So if it is reduced, then we may consider, we can see whether at 18% it is not worthy. At 18% borrowing rate, the borrowing interest rate, this investment is not worthy. So they can negotiate with the bank and try to reduce the borrowing interest rate. Maybe, so now it is 18%, reduced by 5% and see whether it is worthy. That is at 13% whether it is worthy. At 13% borrowing interest rate, whether this investment is worthy. So we do the calculation at 13%. Okay, I am erasing all these things. Below the net cash flow, I am erasing. Up to this one, it is same. Here only our calculation will vary. So discounting 13%. At 13%, we do the calculation.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello, yeah.
Can we use scientific calculator for the exam, sir?
Yeah, you can use it now. Now you can use it scientific calculator. You can use it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now at 18% borrowing rate, whether it is worth. So up to this one, all same. Now discount at 13% per annum. 1 plus 0.13. 1 plus 0.13. This is 0. This is 1 plus 0.13 to the power 2. 1 plus 0.13 to the power 3. 1 plus 0.13 to the power 4. 1 plus 0.13 to the power 5. 1 plus 0.13 to the power 6. So now discounting factor at 13% per annum. Now the discounting factor at 13% per annum. So 1 divided by 1 plus 0.13 to the power 0. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.13 to the power 1 during the first year. In second year, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.13 to the power 2. It goes on until 1 divided by 1 plus 0.13 to the power 6. So now we calculate discounting factor equal to, using the ordinary calculator. So here it is 0, so that is 1, so it is 1 during the year 0. The discounting factor is 1. Then the next year, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.1 divided by 1.13. 1 plus 0.13, that is 1.13 equal sign 0.884. 0.884. Then again divided by 1 plus 0.13. So you press equal sign, it is getting divided. 0.783. Again divide. So equal sign, it will divide. 0.693. Again divide. So equal sign, it will divide. 0.613. Again divide. Equal sign, it will get divided. 0.542 and again divided. So equal sign 0.480. So this is the discounting factor at 13% per annum. 13% per annum. So now we have to convert this cash flow, design future values to the present value. For that, we multiply this cash flow by the relevant discounting factor. So the sentence is PV of the cash flow at 13% PA. At 13% PA. So here this is 60 minus. Now other thing we calculate. $15 multiplied by 0.884 equal sign 13.26. Right. So multiply by again 15 multiplied by 0.783, 0.783, 11.745. Again 15 million multiplied by 0.693, 10.395. Again 15 million multiplied by 0.613, 9.195. Again 15 million multiplied by 0.542, 8.13. Now finally 24 million multiplied by 0.480, 11.52. Now all these values are present values. We have converted to present values. So we call it present value of the cash flow at 13% per annum. So this is equal to 60 million negative. These are all positive values. Add up and see 13.26 plus 11.745 plus 10 plus 395 plus 9.195 plus 8.13 plus 11.52 plus 64.245. 64.245. So this is equal to minus 60 million, 4.245. This is positive value plus. We call it, this is a net of present values. These are all net. This is the net of present values. So NPV, net present value of the cash flow or discounted cash flow. Cash flow at 13% PA per annum. Now you got the positive value. Plus 4.25. NPV is positive now. How it is positive? The present value of the inflow is more than the present value of the outflow. Present value of the inflow is more than the present value of the outflow. Because of that one, NPV is positive. So income is more than the investment and present values. So it is beneficial. So the project is worthy at 13% borrowing interest rate. At 18% borrowing interest rate, the project is not worthy. But at 13% of interest rate, the project is worthy. So NPV is positive. If the NPV is positive, you are getting the project is investment is worthy. If the NPV is negative, the investment is not worthy. Why it is worthy? Why it is not worthy? I explained to you. Okay. So now we will have a break now. Now it is 10:40. After 15 minutes, 5 minutes to 11, we meet. 5 minutes to 11. No. 5:40. 10:40. 55. Then 15 minutes break. Right. 5 minutes to 11 o'clock, we meet. Okay. Right. We have a break now. Well, we start now. We start now, right? So once again, we have done this discounting. By discounting at the borrowing interest rate of 18%, this investment is not worthy. But if we try to borrow it at 13%, that is 5% less than 18%, it is worthy because NPVs become as positive. At 18%, NPV is negative, but at 13% borrowing interest rate, it is positive. So at 13%, this investing in this project is worthy. We understand. Okay, now, so between 18% borrowing interest rate and 13% from 18% borrowing rate, it would be the PV, actually NPV is negative. When you reduce it, it becomes as positive at 13%. So it's just in between 18% borrowing rate and 13% borrowing rate, the NPV may be 0. Why? 18% borrowing rate, the NPV was negative. At 13% borrowing rate, the NPV is positive. From negative, it becomes as positive. So, from negative to become as positive, in between, there may be a 0 point. So, between 18% borrowing rate and 13% borrowing rate, at some point, the NPV may be 0. We see that from now. I'm erasing this. If you plot a graph, this here x-axis, we plot discounting rate. Here the NPV. Y-axis, we plot NPV. Here this is positive, here it is negative. Right. Here 18%. Now we say 13%. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, it goes on. Right. Here 13%. NPV is positive somewhere here. Positive. and 18%, it is negative. It is negative. Here it is 13%, 18% negative. And we may plot graph at various, we do this calculation at various discounting rate. Maybe 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, at various. What will happen? It will come as like this. The graph will become as right. So between various, so there may be various points. There may be many. At one point, here it is NPV is 0. This point NPV is 0. Here positive, here negative. At one point, the NPV may be 0. NPV is 0. Because when at the discounting rate is higher, the NPV is negative. When you reduce the discounting rate or borrowing interest rate, the NPV becomes as positive. So in between, at one point, the NPV may be 0. That is, if it is the NPV is positive, it is beneficial. NPV is positive, it is beneficial. Investment is beneficial. If the NPV is negative, investment is not beneficial. When it is 0, it is neither positive, neither beneficial, not beneficial. So it is a break-even point. It is a break-even point. We call this point as internal rate of return, IRR. This point is the IRR. So when the meaning of IRR, when the net NPV, net present value, when the net present value is 0 for a particular discounting rate, that discounting rate is called as internal rate of return. So that internal rate of return in this example is between 13% and 18%. Between 13% and 18%. IRR is the discounting rate where the NPV of a project is 0. That means the borrowing interest rate at that particular borrowing interest rate, the NPV, the IRR at that particular borrowing interest rate or the discounting rate, the project is not worthy and not unworthy also. It is just break-even point. If the borrowing interest rate is below NPV, below IRR, the project is worthy. If the borrowing interest rate is more than IRR, the project is not worthy. Once again, I am repeating it. If the borrowing interest rate or the discounting rate is more than IRR, the project is not worthy. If the borrowing interest rate or the discounting rate is less than the internal rate of return, it is worthy. So for that purpose, we may calculate IRR. So to see what should be our borrowing interest rate, it is more than IRR or less than IRR. It should be less than IRR. Then only the project will be worthy. For that purpose, we calculate. So by plotting the graph, by taking various readings, you can calculate the particular discounting rate, which is IRR, where the NPV is 0. You can calculate. So there is another formula, another method. By using that one also, you can calculate. We see what is that. IRR, internal rate of return. I am raising this graph. I hope you all understood. IRR, internal rate of return, is equal to lowest discount rate. Lowest discount rate is, so when you do the calculation, there will be two discount rates. One is the lowest, other one is the highest. In our example, 13% is the lowest discount rate. The higher discount rate is 18%. Just now we have done the calculation, no? Our previous the problem, solving that problem, calculation, the lowest interest rate was 13%. The highest interest rate was, that is the discount rate, 18%. So lowest discount rate. In this example, 13%. Plus difference between two discount rates. In our example, one is 18%, other one is 13%. So difference is 5%. 5% into bracket. NPV of the cash flow. NPV of the cash flow, that means discounted cash flow. We call it discounted cash flow. At lowest discount rate. NPV of the discounted cash flow at the lowest discount rate. At the lowest discount rate, how much have we got? Earlier one, plus 4.245. We got plus 4.245. That's the lowest. That is NPV of the discounted cash flow at the lowest discount rate. Divided by sum of, sum means total of, sum of discount, sum of NPVs, net present values, NPVs of the discounted cash flow at two different discount rates. Bracket close. Sum of NPVs of the discounted cash flow at two different discount rates. Here the two different discount rate was, one is 13%, other one is 18%. So NPV of these two different discount rates at 13% it is plus 4.245. At the 18% it goes minus 2.44. Sum, total. So when you total it up, what will happen? This is plus 4.245. This is minus 4.245. It will become 0. So if it is become 0, some number divided by 0, it will be infinity. If some number divided by 0, the answer will be infinity. If the other way, if 0 is divided by 1, it is 0. If some number is divided by 0, it will be infinity. So it is not possible. So what we have to do? Ignore the signs. Ignore the signs. Yes, ignore now the signs. So you total it up by ignoring the signs. Ignore the signs. So this is the formula. IRR of a discounted cash flow is lowest discount rate plus difference between two discount rates into NPV of the discounted cash flow at lowest discount rate and divided by sum of NPVs of the discounted cash flow at two different discount rates. Ignore the signs. Ignore the signs. So if we take IRR is equal to 13% plus difference between 5% into here plus 4.245 divided by 4.245 plus 4.245. Ignore the signs. So this is okay. Right. Now since the space is not enough, I am erasing this formula. You have not read it. I am erasing this. Okay. Right. So now, solving this problem, first of course, you have to do within bracket. There's an order. The algebra, when you solve in the problem, first you attend to the within bracket, then multiplication, then division, then only addition and subtraction. So multiplication. So this is a within bracket. So IRR is equal to 13 plus 5 into 4.25 divided by 8.245. $4.245. Yes. Yes. Anything? Any doubt?
No.
Okay. Okay. 4.245 plus 4.245, 4.245, 8.245, 8.49. So when you solve it, 13 plus 5 into, when you solve this one, 4.245 divided by 8.9, that is 0.476. Sorry, 0.5. It is 0.5. 0.5. Then equal sign 13 plus, then multiplication. First of all, you attend the within bracket, solve, and then multiplication 5 into 0.5, 2.5. That is equal to 13 plus 15.5. So the IRR is equal to 15.5. That means if the borrowing interest rate is 15.5, it is the project is at the break-even point, not profit or not less, neither beneficial or not beneficial level. So this is the IRR, and this is the calculation for IRR. 15.5 is the IRR of this project. So they must try to borrow below the IRR, that is 15.5%. Then only it will be beneficial. If you try to borrow above 15.5%, then definitely it is not going to be profitable, not beneficial to the project proponents. Okay, now another thing I must tell you, when you do this calculation, the decimal points, as far as you increase the decimal point, the accuracy of the answer will be better. Accuracy is more. When you increase the number of decimal points, the accuracy will be more. But anyway, try to do at least with 3 decimal points. Try to use your problem when you are using these calculators and manually do it with 3 decimal points. If you increase it, definitely the accuracy will be more. Right. So this is the basic thing. Now, take the sample questions given to you. The first question: what do you understand by the following terms? Time value of money, I have explained it. I hope you don't have any doubt. Then discounting, I have explained to you the technique, bringing future value, converting the future value to the present value. Net present value, net of all the present value, net of inflow and outflow present values. If then NPV is positive, if the NPV is positive, the project is beneficial. If the NPV is negative, the project is not beneficial. And how do you get the NPV? It is the discounted cash flow, inflows and outflow, the net of present values of the inflow and the outflow. Right. Okay. Part question 1. Anybody has any doubt? I hope no one has any doubt. Okay. Then briefly explain the meaning of the following: time value of the money. Okay, I explained. Net present value. Okay. Then other part I will come to you little while later. Question number 3, which we have done here. Right. Then the question number 4. Actually, you may get one question from this time value of money. It may be a problem solving, a sum solving, or it may be a theory question. It may be a theory question. Now, your question number 4 is a theory question. What do you understand by following in regard to financial investment appraisal? So when you do the financial investment appraisal, you will do this time value of money. You consider time value of money and do the analysis. So what do you understand by the following in regard to financial investment appraisal of projects? A few explanatory sentences for each item would be sufficient. And wherever possible, give example. For this one, you don't need to write paras. Except that you must show us that you understand. You understand these words. Understand this concept. So wherever possible, give some example. Time value of money. Yes. Present value, future value. Our bread example is there. The definition is there. What do you mean by time value of money? And example, give the example, bread or sugar or sari or anything as an example. And present value. Yeah, what is present value? What do you mean by future value? Then discounting. Discounting rate, discounting factor, discounted cash flow, discounting, converting future value to the present value, that is discounting. And then discounting rate. So what is the interest rate applying the discounting? Yes, discounting rate, discounting factor for the, yes, for the future value of 1 rupee, the value of the present value at various interest rates and various period. That is discounting factor. And give as an example from the formula. From the formula, give as a factor. You take the PV equal to FV divided by 1 plus R to the power n. Then if it is 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power n, then PV. So this is the discounting factor. This is discounting factor. Give the example. Then net present value of projected cash flow. Then discounted cash flow. So the normal cash flow, you apply the discounting rate and discounting technique, you convert all the future values to the present values of the cash flow. Then that cash flow is called as discounted cash flow. In a normal cash flow, apply the discounting technique, applies the discounting rate, and convert all the future values to the present value of the cash flow. Then it is discounted cash flow. Right. Then internal rate of, net present value of the projected cash flow. Say net of. It is a net of present values of the inflow and the outflow. Investment is the outflow and the investment, and the other one is the inflow. So this is a net present value of the net of the present value of the inflows and the outflows of the cash flow. That is net present value. Then interpretation. If the net present value is a positive, then the venture, the project is beneficial. If the net present value is the negative, that the project is not beneficial. That is the interpretation, because the net present value of the inflows are not covering the net present value of the outflow. It's not covered. An internal rate of return of a projected cash flow and its interpretation, yes, I have explained you, where the NPV is 0, the discount rate is called as the IRR, internal rate of return. So it is the break-even point of the project for the borrowing rate. If they borrow more than, at the rate of more than IRR, it is not beneficial. If they try to borrow below the IRR, then it is beneficial. Interpretation. And calculating IRR using Excel computer application, that I will. So even a theory question comes, it is very simple. You can answer. Even a theory question comes, if you understand it clearly, yeah, you can. By give, what we want is whether what you understand. In a simple English, you can write. Wherever possible, give the example. Okay, right. Okay, right. And and in your calculations, these things are very important. Cash flow for investment analysis, and then SL rupees 2021 constant prices. You are not increasing the prices. Actual prices, yes. Constant prices. You do the calculation, the projection at constant prices. Okay, now I am raising this. Now, I hope you all know operate. You know to operate Excel spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheet. So there is a when you open, you will get a spreadsheet. There are various cells. Excel spreadsheet. So in the Excel, there are various functions. There are functions to calculate. We call it functions. There are functions to calculate NBV, IRR, etc. And then the Excel, already they are updating. There are certain changes. So versions, we call it versions, Excel versions. The version to version, there may be changes. So you must follow it up. For the calculation of NPV, what you do is, there will be actually from a cash flow only, you have to calculate the net present value. The cash flow you would have done. Cash flow you would have done. Project years, the cash flow, net cash flow from the operation. From the operation, you would have calculated. This is the investment. This will be within bracket, negative, outflow. It is outflow, so within bracket. Then from year 1, you may get various answers at concerned prices. You may get concerned prices. So this one you would have prepared. That is net cash flow from the operation, inflow, outflow, the net. Now, using the Excel spreadsheet, how to calculate the NPV. Put an equal sign. You bring the cursor to one cell. You bring the cursor to one cell. Keep it there. And put an equal sign here. Put an equal sign. And say NPV. Sorry. And type NPV. Then the computer will prompt you what to do. Bracket, NPV and bracket. And computer will ask you what is the range. Computer will ask you what is the range. What is the range? This is the range. The first one is negative and then positive. Sometimes even hereafter also you may get some negative value. Then it cash flow, maybe. But here it is negative. Investment is outflow. So take the cursor to the point here. Anchor it and highlight it. Anchor and highlight. Enter cash flow. Highlight the cash flow. Then put a comma. So this is the range. Here, take the cursor to this value, anchor, and highlight. It will come to here, then put a comma. Then, at what rate you want to discount? The discounting rate. Discounting rate. So, the discount rate decimal. Discount rate. This is decimal. You give the discounting rate, whether it is 18%, 0.19, 15%, 0.15, 14%, 0.14. Decimal. Bracket close and enter. Bracket close and enter. You will get the answer here. What is the NPV? You will get the answer. NPV, you will get the answer. Once again, spreadsheet, take the cursor to a cell in the spreadsheet, to the cell, put an equal sign, and type NBV and put a bracket. The computer will prompt you what is the range. The computer will ask you for the range. So take the cursor here, anchor it, highlight, and put a comma. Computer will come back. Computer will come back here from the range. It will come back. Then computer asks you for the discount rate. You give which discount rate you want to do it in decimal. Put the decimal, bracket close, and enter. You will get the NPV answer. From version to version, there may be slight difference in the Excel. From version to version, there may be. So that you have to check it out. This is from one person. This is from one person. I have to. Okay, right. So this one, of course, you have to definitely do. This net cash flow. From the operation, you have to do it. All other things computer will do for you. All other things computer is doing for you. But we have seen, we have done all these calculations. Now we know. Having known, now of course, yes, we are going to use the computer also. So when you are using the computer, all those calculations for plus, minus, you can simply do it. But you know how you are getting it. You should know how you are getting it. That's what we have done. So when in your practical life, when you are doing any project evaluation, appraisal, financial, after doing all the financial and all these project appraisal and everything, finally for the investment appraisal, you get a cash flow. That is net cash flow from the operation and apply. Use the Excel spreadsheet, get the answer. This is for the entry. Similarly, for the IRR, take the cursor to the cell, take the cursor to the cell and put equal sign, type equal sign, and then say IRR. The bracket, computer will ask you what is the range. So take the cursor here. Before that, you would have put all these net cash flow in the Excel sheet. Excel sheet should be there in the Excel sheet. This net cash flow from operation in the Excel sheet. Take it here, anchor it, highlight it, come to the end, put the comma. This time the computer will ask you, suggest a rate, suggest a discount rate. So you can give any discount rate. Any, even 10%, 20%, 50%, 5%, 1%, 2%, any rate you can give. So the computer wants some figure there. Computer wants some figure there. So suggest a rate. Then bracket close. You will get the IRR here. You will get the IRR here. So all those formulas and other things not necessary. By using the computer, you can calculate the IRR. But you should know how it is coming. How you are getting this answer, you should know. So this is calculating the NBV and IRR by using Excel spreadsheet. That also now you know. Okay. Right. So I am raising this now. Now we come. Question number 5. Question number 5. Please read it. We try to do it here. Right. ABC Plastic Company Limited has planned to install 2 numbers blowing molding machines to increase its production capacity of plastic items at a cost of rupees 8 million. The cost of installation and other expenses will be 5 million. Investment on working capital for this venture will be rupees 3.5 million. The company plans to produce 150,000 units of plastic items annually from both machines, and it is estimated that each unit will contribute a net cash flow of 25 rupees. That is, they want to install 2 number blow mold plastic manufacturing machines, blow molding machines, and they plan to produce 150,000 units annually, and each unit will contribute a net cash flow of 25 rupees. That is, all the expenses, all the direct and indirect expenses, when you reduce from the sale price, you are getting the net cash flow from 1 unit is 25 rupees. After reducing all the expenses from the sale value, you are getting 25 rupees. So from 150,000 units, they will get 3.75 million net cash flow from the operation. They will get 3.75 million annually as a net cash flow from this operation after reducing all the expenses, cash operating expenses from the income. So net cash flow from the operation as 3.75 million, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75. The company plans to produce 150,000 units of plastic item annually from both machines, and it is estimated that each unit will contribute to a net cash flow of rupees 25. The economic production life of both machines 5 years, and the machine will have a residual value of 1 million. Right. Now, investment. And now investment. That is cash outflow. This is cash inflow. This is cash inflow. Now the investment on machinery. How much? 8 million. 2 machines, 2 blow molding machines to increase the production capacity at a cost of 8 million. So 8.0 investment within bracket. And installation also, they are spending money. So the cost of installation and other expenses. So that also investment. That also investment. It is consideration also investment. How much? That is 0.5. 500,000. Investment on the working capital. So working capital also investment. It is going to be there till the project goes on. The working capital will be turning on. It will be there in the project. So that also investment, working capital. That also investment. 3.5 million. That is also outflow. So investment on machinery, outflow, installation expenses, outflow, working capital, investment, outflow. Right. Now there is another inflows there. What is that? Economic production life of both machines is 5 years. And the machine will have a residual value of 1 million after the period. So now the residual value of machines. As I told you earlier, the machine will have an economic life of 5 years. So after 5 years, 1 million is the income. 1 million. There is another inflow will be there at the end after the project. The working capital, I told you. What is working capital? Investment. If you take the investment investment. Fixed on fixed assets. Investment on fixed assets. What are fixed assets? Land, building, machinery, vehicles, other fixed assets, computers, refrigerators, air conditioners, standby generators, furniture and fittings, computer system. These are other fixed assets. So these are fixed assets. So that we call it fixed capital. Investment on fixed assets is fixed assets. And another one, current assets. Other one, current assets. What are current assets? Raw material. If it is an industry, raw material. Then, when the raw material is working and producing the fixed capital, goods, finished goods, when they are producing in between. That is work in process. Work in process or work in progress. Work in process or work in progress. That is in between. Here, raw material, and finally finished good. Finished goods in between. In between, that is work in process or work in progress in between. Then finished good. Finished good. Raw material, work in process, finished good. And sometimes they sell it on credit. Credit sales. Or debtors. Sometimes they make advance payment. Advance payment. These are current assets. These are current assets. So investment on these current assets is called as gross working capital. Gross working capital. Investment on current assets is gross working capital. So this is the investment. So working capital also investment. Machinery, you have a residual value at the end. But with the working capital, current assets, they are revolving. They are revolving within the project or within the venture or within the business. It is revolving. Raw material coming, go have work in progress, hold as finished good, and then there may be credit sales, advance payment, cash. Cash also. Cash. Become as cash. Again, cash used to purchase the working capital, raw material. Again, raw material, work in process, finished good, credit sale, advance payment, cash. Again, cash, raw material. It is revolving. It is revolving. So at the end of the project, the working capital also there, that will be coming as the cash. At the end of the project, at the end of the working capital. Fixed assets also now in this case machine, you are getting the residual value from the machine and you are recovering the working capital invested. But you have invested working capital at the end of the project, you are recovering. Working capital is there. It is working. It is rotating. It is operating. At the end, you are recovering. So, working capital recovery. In one, working capital recovery. That also. How much? What you have invested, you are getting 3.5. Because, sorry, not bracket. Constant prices. We are working on constant prices. We are working on constant prices. Now, net flow for the operation, net flow for the investment analysis, net flow. Here, 12 million within bracket. Here, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, 4.5. This is the cash flow for the discounting. This is the cash flow for the discounting. This is the cash flow for the discount. So now you discount it. Now, what 14% interest rate? They are going to borrow this one at 14%. So now discount it at 14% and get the NPV. So if the answer is NPV is positive, it is worthy. If the answer is negative, it is not worthy. So when there is working capital, how you have to use, how you have to treat it. How you have to treat the investment cost. These are all investment. These are all investment. Out of that one, this you can recover at the end, the residual value, working capital, you can get the cash at the end. But you have this one, installation charges and other charges, it won't. You won't get. So only these two items at the end you will get. So you consider that one to the discounting and calculate. So this of course I am not going to do. You have to do on your own. I have told you how to do it. So this is one example. So when there is working capital, when there is investment cost, how to treat it. Now you know. Right. Now the question number 2. We come to question number 2. So this one, of course, the balance you can work it. No, you all can work. Now you know how to do it. Now you can do it. Okay. Right. Any questions? No. Anyway, right. So now we go to another question. Question number 2. The first part, of course, time value of money, net present value, we have discussed. I have told you. The second part. ABC International Limited is an engineering company and has decided to install a new plant at its Colombo factory to manufacture engineering tools for marketing in Sri Lanka. The cost of the plant and machinery will be rupees 50 million. I am raising this. The balance work you can do it. Balance work you can do it. I am raising it. Right. 50 million. So investment on machinery 50 million. This bracket outflow, cash outflow. Cost of the plant and machinery will be 50 million. The cost of installation, training of workers, test running and other expenses will be 3 million. For training, installation, training of staff, test running. Actually, in a project, they will do only test installation and then train the staff. If the machinery is new and modern, you have to train your staff and you have to operate with test running. Maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, you run and see, and then only you will start for the commercial production. So all these things, 3 million. The investment of the working capital will be 12 million. Working capital. Working capital. 12 million. That is also outflow. So all are the investment is outflow. The company projects its net cash flow as follows. During the first year operation, 14 million. Net cash flow, 14 million. From the operation. That is, after reducing all the expenses, cash operating expenses from the income, we get the net cash flow from the operation, 14 million. Second year, 16 million. Third year, 17 million. Thereafter, 18 million. Economic production life of plant will be 6 years. So it is 6 years. And we'll have a residual value of 10 million after that. So in the 7th year, the residual value of the machinery, residual value of the machinery $10 million. So that is cash inflow. Then working capital also, recovery of working capital. Recovery of working capital, 12 million, 12, 70. The company is planning to meet entire investment cost through a bank borrowing at an interest rate of 17.5%. Based on the concept of time value of money, carry out an analysis and confirm. Right. So now, net cash flow. Net cash flow. Year 0. 65 million. 65 million. Cash outflow, 65 million, within bracket, 50, 65 million. Here, cash inflow, 14 million, 16 million, 17 million, 18 million, 18 million, 18 million, here 22 million. 22 million. These are cash inflow. So they want to borrow it at 17.5%. So discount it by using the discounting rate of 17.5. Calculate the NPV. If the NPV is positive, yes, it is beneficial. If the NPV is negative, it is not beneficial. You will give the reason also. Why it is so? You will give the reason also. Right? So it is same as here. Only one difference. First paragraph. ABC International Limited is an engineering company and has decided to install a new plant at its Colombo factory to manufacture engineering tools for marketing in Sri Lanka. The cost of the plant and the machinery will be 50 million. The cost of installation, training of workers, test running, and other expenses will be 3 million. And it takes a period of 4 months. and take a period of 4 months. So year 0 here is 4 months only. Here it is 4 months. Actually, the year 0, that is the investment period now, it can from 1 month to 12 months. It can be from 1 month to 12 months. So then the year 1 start. Then the year 1 start. So here it is just, so you should not confuse. You should not get confused. So 4 months is here, the year 0 is 4 months. Don't try to do it here, it is 4 months. So balance 8 months. Calculate for 8 months. This 14 million for 1 year, so 8 months how much? And then don't calculate like that. It is wrong. Don't do like that. Here the investment period, actually the investment period is 4 months. That is year 0. So year 0 can be 1 to 12 months. Once the investment is over, year 1 start. Once the investment is over, that is year 0 is over, investment start. The project start in the income starts. So it is from here. So don't consider it is 4 months. So balance 8 months. Yeah, the income will be there, but for the balance 8 months, don't calculate separately like that. It goes on as. But if you are considering these 4 months the year 0, then year 1 separately you are calculating, then all the period NGA should be 4 months, 4 months, 4 months, 4 months, 4 months, 4 months. You have to divide into 4 months and do it. So you can do it. One is 4 months, one is 8 months. Don't do like that. You can't do it like that. The period, actually, year 0 can be from 1 to 12 months. So if the investment period is 8 months, yeah, 8 months. Year 0. And then year 1, this start. Income starts. I hope you understood that one. So you should not get confused. If we mention the investment period is 4 months, this will go for 4 months. Then don't try to separate it and don't 8 months, don't do it like that. It is 4 months and thereafter it is 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year period. So here the year 0 is 4 months. If it is 5 months, yeah, year 0 will be 5 months only. Thereafter year 1 start. If the investment period is 8 months, so year 0 is 8 months only. And thereafter year 1 start. Consider like that. So this is. Okay. So the time value of money, the theory and the calculations, everything we have done today. If you have any doubts, please you can ask me now. Otherwise, if you have any doubts later, you can telephone and ask me also. Can clear. Definitely you will get one question on this one. In your papers, exam, you will get one question. It may be a theory or it may be a problem like this what we have done.
So can you explain about the recovery of the working capital?
Explain. Yes, now.
How it comes?
Okay, working capital. Thank you. Right, very good, very good. I am raising this. Okay, right. Working capital investment. So what are the working capital? That's a current assets. investment on current assets. That is the working capital. What are the current assets? Raw material, work in progress or work in process, finished good, credit sales, or debtors. You may sell the goods on credit to your customers. You may sell the goods on credit to your customers. Debtors. And then cash in hand to operate cash. Cash in hand and bank, right. And then advance payment. This is for you to get the electricity bill, or maybe the water collection, or maybe some raw material suppliers may want some advance payment. So all these advance. So all these things you are investing cash to purchase the raw material and all those things. Cash is there. Cash is tied up in these current assets. These are all current assets. Cash is tied up. If you have current liability, maybe sometimes some raw material supplier may give you some advance. So that is current liability, you can reduce from this one. This all these things we call it gross working capital. Gross working capital. When there are some suppliers credit, raw material supplier or packing material supplier, if they give you some credit, so the cash requirement of your cash requirement will be reduced by that amount. So that is current liability minus current liability then you will get a net working capital. This is net working capital. So there are two words. One is gross working capital, that is total money tied up, cash tied up in this current asset. Your cash tied up in this current assets. It's the gross working capital. If there is any current liability by way of supplier's credit or not, you reduce that one, then you will get that is your actual working capital requirement, net working capital. What is the difference between the gross working capital and the net working capital? There's another important thing you must remember. You must remember, working capital also a investment, a long-term investment, like the fixed capital. Fixed capital, land, building, vehicle, machinery, same way. That's a fixed capital, long-term investment, like that. Working capital also long-term investment. Since as your project or venture goes on, as long as it goes on, the working capital should be there. So your money should be tied up in those working capital. Another way, now cash. Maybe your cash or bank or yes, working, what you are buying, raw material. The process, working process, finished good, then sale, cash, or sometimes credit, sale. It will come as cash. This is a working capital cycle. Now, as long as the project goes on, or your venture goes on, or your business goes on, the money should be tied up there. It will be there. It will be rolling, rotating, revolving, working capital. Once you finish your project, what will happen? These you can recover. There may be finished good, you will sell and get the cash because you don't need to invest again. You don't need to invest again. You are closing the business. So at the end of every business, if there is working capital, any business there should be working capital. So if at the end of when you are closing the business, the working capital will be recovered. it will be recovered. So that's what here. In our example also, working capital investment, you are recovering. And we are doing all those calculations at the 2021 concern prices, I have told you. All these calculations at the concern prices. So what you have invested, concern prices, you are recovering. Clear? Not
Yes, sir.
clear or not clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.